There are machines that arrive at just the right moment, not because of timing set by corporate planners, but because riders with real skin in the game decide that a particular configuration of steel, fuel, and ambition actually gives them a chance. This story begins with one of those machines, a bike shaped by high-load endurance runs, private garages, and long nights chasing reliability under pressure. Think of a time when performance gains came from patience instead of software, when every improvement was a direct result of someone willing to test limits on unforgiving pavement. Think of a machine built to handle fatigue, maintain composure, and earn loyalty from people who trusted it with their weekend trophies and their weekday commutes. If that kind of origin pulls you in, hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment about which classic project you want covered next. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S sits at a crossroads where ambition, engineering restraint, and rider-driven evolution shape a machine that still earns respect for its balance under real-world stress. To understand how it gained that reputation, we have to return to an era when manufacturers were learning how to blend emerging performance expectations with the realities of road durability. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S represents that moment clearly. It embodies a practical attitude toward power delivery, frame balance, and component durability that allowed riders to trust it during long, unforgiving stretches of pavement. When discussing the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S in detail, the first major element to address is how it positioned itself in a scene filled with bigger promises but often less reliable outcomes. Many riders needed a machine that could be both a weekend challenger and a weekday partner, and this bike offered that mix without forcing compromises that would weaken long-term ownership. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S arrived with a character defined not by fragile theatrics but by durable consistency. Its air-cooled four-cylinder layout provided enough muscle for spirited riding, but it also avoided the overheating tendencies that plagued some complex configurations from another manufacturer. Riders who approached the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S for daily use found a platform that handled high mileage without complaint. Its frame geometry created predictable responses under stress, while its suspension tuning remained composed even when the pavement deteriorated or the rider asked more than the surface conditions encouraged. This balance made the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S a trusted companion for people who needed a bike that could deliver confidence without forcing high-cost maintenance cycles. Many owners considered its reliability a form of silent reassurance that broadened their riding season and reduced their downtime. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S also succeeded because it aligned well with the demands of evolving rider expectations. Enthusiasts wanted a machine that felt fast enough to satisfy curiosity yet stable enough to avoid the nervous behavior that sometimes came from rivals chasing sheer output. Under moderate and heavy load, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S maintained its stability because its engineering team focused on stiffness, weight distribution, and real-world tuning rather than chasing peak numbers for brochure appeal. This approach gave the bike an identity centered on trust rather than hype. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S did not require a specialized skill set to ride comfortably. Beginners felt confident on it, and experienced riders appreciated its subtle feedback and predictable behavior in corners, especially during extended downhill sequences where lesser machines tended to heat up and lose composure. That ease of use created a sense of community around the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S. Riders from different backgrounds could enjoy it for different reasons, and that inclusiveness generated long-term brand loyalty. In talking about the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, it is also important to highlight how the bike influenced owner behavior. Many enthusiasts began learning maintenance fundamentals because the platform invited hands-on experimentation. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S used components arranged with accessibility in mind, so tune-ups, valve checks, and chain adjustments became approachable tasks instead of intimidating chores. This further cemented the bike as a machine that supported long-term ownership. When riders customized the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, they often focused on improving brakes, suspension, and weight distribution. Its core structure handled upgrades well without compromising reliability, making it a solid foundation for experimentation. During high-mileage touring, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S shined by maintaining consistency at varying altitudes, temperatures, and load conditions. This reliability gave riders peace of mind during long trips. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S also managed rider fatigue effectively thanks to its ergonomic layout. Handlebars, foot peg position, and seat profile encouraged a natural posture. In city environments, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S delivered responsive throttle behavior and smooth gear transitions. Its clutch engagement felt predictable even during heavy traffic. On rural roads, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S held its line confidently, responding to small steering input changes with stability rather than jitter. Riders who pushed the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S through extended bends appreciated its planted feel and measured feedback. It communicated surface irregularities without overwhelming the rider. The braking system on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, while modest by modern standards, offered reliable stopping under repeated use. Fade remained minimal when maintained properly. The carburation system on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S provided strong mid-range delivery. Consistent airflow ensured dependable performance in a variety of climates. None of these characteristics alone made the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S remarkable, but together they created a machine worthy of long-term respect. This cumulative reliability is what made many riders choose it over flashier rivals. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S embedded itself into rider culture through word of mouth rather than marketing spectacle. Real owners validated its capabilities through thousands of miles. Many who rode the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S during its early years still reference it as a turning point in their motorcycling lives because it offered a perfect blend of confidence, capability, and maintainability. As more enthusiasts look back at foundational machines that shaped modern expectations, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S earns its place because it demonstrates how a motorcycle can influence generations of riders without relying on extremes. To continue understanding how this bike carved out such a respected identity, we must follow how its engineering principles and real-world adoption shaped its deeper legacy. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S carries a reputation shaped not just by its specifications but by the way riders used and interpreted those specifications. When looking closely at the forces that molded its identity, it becomes clear that real-world feedback had as much influence as the factory engineers. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S benefited from a development mindset focused on practical gains that riders could feel daily. Instead of chasing headline figures, the engineering team concentrated on airflow stability, combustion efficiency, and chassis stiffness that would maintain composure under heavy load. By studying the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S through this lens, we see how its balance of muscle and accessibility positioned it as a benchline for what a multi-role motorcycle could achieve during a time of rapid industry evolution. The machine became a trusted reference point for riders seeking a realistic blend of power and predictability. Enthusiasts who evaluated the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S often realized that its appeal stemmed from structural harmony rather than aggressive tuning. The bike felt unified, with the engine, frame, and suspension working together to create a coherent sense of control. This harmony set the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S apart because many rivals pursued output advances without equal attention to thermal stability and rider comfort. The result was that riders leaned toward the Suzuki when they wanted fewer surprises during long-distance or mixed-condition riding. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S had a four-cylinder engine that delivered strong mid-range performance without requiring constant high-rev habits. This characteristic made it accessible to riders who valued smooth acceleration and predictable transitions during real-world riding. Carburation on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S contributed to that quality by offering steady fuel delivery across varied climates. Riders traveling between sea level and higher altitudes appreciated a machine that maintained reasonable consistency without demanding constant adjustment. Valve clearance maintenance on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S was manageable compared to more complex setups from another manufacturer. This ease of upkeep became a subtle but important selling point for long-term owners. The engine cases of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S were robust enough to handle repeated high-load conditions during extended trips. Many owners considered this reliability one of the bike's defining strengths. Braking on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S benefited from a hardware layout designed for durability. Although not comparable to modern systems, its discs and calipers performed reliably when maintained properly. The feel at the lever on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S was progressive enough to allow smooth deceleration. Riders appreciated its resistance to fade during repeated applications, particularly on long downhill runs. Owners who upgraded pads and lines on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S often reported improved precision without compromising reliability. The platform responded well to sensible enhancements that supported rider confidence. Ergonomics played a significant role in shaping how riders connected with the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S. Its handlebar positioning and seat contour encouraged a posture that felt natural across long distances. Foot peg placement on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S balanced comfort and control. The slightly rearward angle offered enough leverage for spirited riding while remaining relaxed during daily commuting. Wind management provided by the signature fairing of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S reduced fatigue at sustained speeds. Riders who spent hours on highways appreciated the moderated airflow around the torso and helmet. Instrument readability on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S contributed to overall comfort. Its gauges offered clear visibility even in changing light conditions, aiding long-distance situational awareness. Customization culture surrounding the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S emerged in part because of the bike's approachable mechanical layout. Enthusiasts found that the platform invited experimentation without excessive risk. Owners who installed improved suspension components on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S often reported sharper turn in behavior and reduced dive under braking. These upgrades refined the bike's already stable character. Exhaust modifications were also common among 1979 Suzuki GS1000S owners. Lightweight systems improved throttle response and reduced mass without fundamentally changing the machine's balanced nature. Some riders installed touring accessories on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, such as luggage racks and more supportive seats. These additions turned it into a dependable companion for multi-day journeys. Cultural significance of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S grew as riders realized that the machine offered more than just numbers. It offered an experience shaped by predictability, resilience, and a sense of capability that matched a wide range of rider skill levels. For many enthusiasts, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S became their gateway into long-term motorcycling because it taught them how a bike should behave under stress. Its steady nature served as an example of engineering clarity. Word of mouth strengthened the reputation of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S. Owners frequently recommended it to friends who wanted a trustworthy platform that could handle growth as their riding abilities improved. The machine's widespread respect stemmed from the fact that it rarely surprised riders with unpredictable behavior. This sense of confidence fostered a loyal community that appreciated consistency over trend chasing. Influence of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S extended beyond its immediate production era. Many lessons learned from its design contributed to broader discussions about balancing power with practical usability. Engineers and riders alike recognized that the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S represented a turning point in how manufacturers approached multi-purpose motorcycles. Its emphasis on long-term stability demonstrated the value of tuning for real-world use rather than peak metrics. Collectors examining the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S today often reflect on how well its mechanical philosophy aged. Its blend of strength, accessibility, and charm continues to resonate with enthusiasts who seek machines defined by substance. The story of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S is, at its core, a story about balance. It shows how thoughtful engineering, grounded in rider reality, can create a machine that endures in memory and function. Understanding this deeper layer behind the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S allows us to appreciate its continued relevance. It remains a benchmark for riders who value stability, long-term ownership potential, and a riding experience shaped by thoughtful simplicity. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S enters its later chapters with a reputation shaped as much by the people who rode it as by the engineering choices behind it. The machine continues to influence riders because it represents a moment when thoughtful mechanical design reached a kind of equilibrium between strength, composure, and accessibility. When discussing the long arc of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, the first thing to recognize is how its presence changed the expectations of everyday riders. This bike proved that a machine could offer impressive capability without overwhelming the user or demanding constant expert-level tinkering. Over time, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S became more than a motorcycle. It evolved into a reference point, a benchmark used by riders comparing new options against the balanced identity that Suzuki achieved during that era. In analyzing its legacy, we see how the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S shaped rider culture by demonstrating how harmony between engine output, chassis stability, and ergonomic comfort can create a mechanical companion that feels dependable under nearly all conditions. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S stands today as a reminder that lasting value comes from design clarity. Its engineering choices were not about spectacle but about reliability, composure, and a sense of control that translated into real confidence for the rider. The engine of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S delivered confident torque across a usable range. This allowed riders to focus more on the road ahead and less on constantly hunting for the perfect gear. Its air-cooled layout, though simple by modern standards, remained a strength because it balanced heat dissipation and long-term durability under extended load. This contributed to the bike's strong reputation during touring and daily commuting. Riders who owned the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S often praised the way it managed changes in altitude, temperature, and surface quality. Even as conditions shifted, the bike maintained consistent behavior that supported long-range confidence. As aftermarket culture grew during the following decades, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S gained renewed attention. Builders found it responsive to thoughtful upgrades without losing its intrinsic personality. Many restoration specialists consider the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S an ideal platform because it allows improvements in suspension, braking components, and intake tuning without compromising the machine's classic identity. In custom scenes, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S often receives subtle refinements rather than sweeping alterations. Owners tend to preserve the original proportions and fairing profile because these elements contribute deeply to the machine's character. Enthusiasts who restore the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S appreciate its mechanical honesty. The engine responds well to careful rebuilding. The frame maintains integrity even after decades of service, and the electrical system, once refreshed, remains dependable for modern use. GLY Complex Machinery. While modern designs feature advanced electronics and sophisticated rider aids, the GS1000S provides a direct and mechanical experience that many enthusiasts find grounding. The seat profile, fairing silhouette, and gauge cluster of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S evoke a period when analog engineering shaped the relationship between rider and machine. These elements offer a tactile charm that digital systems cannot replicate. Riding a well-maintained 1979 Suzuki GS1000S today provides a reminder of how mechanical precision alone, without computer intervention, can create a sense of clarity on the road. The bike encourages riders to connect with throttle control, body positioning, and timing in a more deliberate way. This tactile engagement is one of the reasons the machine retains such a passionate following among riders who value the fundamentals of motorcycling. The market for restored and well-preserved examples of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S has risen steadily. Collectors acknowledge the bike as a cornerstone of period performance, and its scarcity increases the appeal. However, values rise not only because of rarity but because the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S represents an approach to engineering that resonates strongly with enthusiasts who prefer minimal electronics and maximum mechanical expression. The bike's components remain serviceable thanks to strong aftermarket support. This ensures that the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S can continue to thrive in the hands of new generations without losing its identity. Riders who build touring setups on the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S praise its ability to maintain composure even with additional luggage and extended travel gear. Its frame strength and engine reliability make it suitable for long journeys without inducing overwhelming fatigue. Historically, motorcycles like the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S played a crucial role in defining what multi-purpose performance should feel like. This bike bridged the gap between early high-output machines and later generations that introduced advanced control systems. The success of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S demonstrated that riders appreciated stability and reliability as much as raw speed. Manufacturers took note and shifted toward engineering philosophies that balanced horsepower with usability. The GS1000S's influence can be traced in the development approach of later models. Even though those machines incorporated more complex technologies, the core idea of blending real-world practicality with satisfying performance remains central. As more enthusiasts seek motorcycles with authentic mechanical engagement, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S continues to experience renewed interest. Riders appreciate how the machine communicates road texture, chassis behavior, and engine response directly through its analog interface. Younger riders, accustomed to digitally assisted machines, often find the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S refreshing because it delivers a pure, undiluted interaction between rider and road. This resurgence contributes to a broader appreciation for motorcycles that represent pivotal moments in design history. The GS1000S sits firmly in that category because of its confident balance and timeless mechanical charm. The longevity of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S highlights the importance of durable engineering. Its robust frame, dependable engine cases, and straightforward maintenance requirements allow it to survive decades of use without requiring extreme intervention. Properly maintained, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S can still offer thousands of miles of reliable service. This longevity makes it a practical collectible rather than a static display piece. For riders who want a machine that reflects classic styling without sacrificing functionality, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S stands as an ideal choice. its balance of analog charm and real-world capability makes it relevant even after many decades. The story of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S is ultimately about a machine that earned loyalty through honesty. It never relied on exaggerated claims or complex systems. Instead, it built a legacy by offering stability, reliability, and accessible performance to a wide range of riders. Owners connected with the machine because it supported their growth, respected their skill levels, and rewarded thoughtful riding. That bond continues to define the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, making it a lasting icon within the motorcycling community. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S closes its story as a machine defined by clarity, balance, and rider-centered engineering. Within the first moments of examining the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S, it becomes clear that its legacy comes from practical strength rather than spectacle. And that quality continues to resonate with riders who value stability and genuine mechanical engagement. The 1979 Suzuki GS1000S demonstrates how a motorcycle can earn long-term respect by blending dependable power delivery, predictable chassis behavior, and accessible maintenance. Its analog nature invites riders to connect directly with throttle input, braking feel, and cornering rhythm without technological filters. Over decades of ownership, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S proved that durability and thoughtful design age more gracefully than peak numbers. Its air-cooled engine, balanced frame geometry, and straightforward ergonomics remain effective for daily riding, touring, or weekend exploration. Restoration culture surrounding the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S thrives because the platform rewards careful rebuilding. Each refreshed example showcases how well its foundational engineering withstands time, mileage, and changing rider expectations. Communities dedicated to the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S reflect a shared appreciation for machines that emphasize rider involvement. Owners celebrate the bike's ability to remain composed under stress, approachable for new riders, and engaging for experienced enthusiasts seeking a mechanically honest experience. In modern contexts filled with electronic assistance, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S stands as a reminder of the satisfaction that comes from mastering a machine through skill and feel. Its predictable responses create a sense of connection that continues to attract new admirers. Collectors value the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S not only for its rarity but for its enduring capability. It remains fully rideable, serviceable, and rewarding without depending on extensive modification. The influence of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S can be felt in how riders evaluate later motorcycles. Its blend of real-world usability and satisfying performance set a benchmark that shaped expectations for multi-purpose machines. The continued relevance of the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S demonstrates that engineering rooted in long-term stability has lasting power. Its legacy lives through the riders who maintain it, restore it, and keep it moving across new roads. As a final reflection, the 1979 Suzuki GS1000S remains an icon not because of aggressive statistics but because of its unified identity. It is a motorcycle built with intention, appreciated for its authenticity, and remembered for the confidence it inspires mile after mile.